Morning, I'm Mark Gilchrist and I'm game for everything. I'm going to show you how to gut and skin a rabbit. And later on I'll be showing you a few recipes with this wonderful piece of meat. Now you want to pull the guts out as soon as you've shot him, so you want to do that the night you go shooting. Also, when you pick your rabbit up after you shot him, you want to squeeze the bladder, which is just in there. So squeeze it and make sure it goes to the loo. Right, cut like that. What you want to be very careful of is you don't want to cut the guts. So that's the milk. This is the dough, so that's the milky bit. And that there is a little piece of muscle that separates the guts. See, like that. You want to make sure you don't nick the guts open. Down like that. Over to the bin. Lift them up like that. Hold them by his front legs. 2 fingers. Pull the whole lot out. Like that. Kidneys. So there's nothing else left in there. Now, meat cleaver. Nice and simple. Legs, easy off. Like that. Head. Like that. Nice sharp meat cleaver. Front legs. Like that. Doesn't want his tail anymore. In the bin. All of these in the bin. Right, skinning rabbit, nice and easy. I'm going to lift the skin up and just tear it up and away like that. Working it over, rolling your knuckles, around like that. Like that. Cut, down like that. Then one swift motion, 1, 2, 3, like that. Skin all off in one piece. Tidy him up. If you've left a little bit of fluff on, take it off. You want to continue your split down there, down to the pelvis. Go through like that. You want to take the remaining bits of guts that you left in, all of that's come out. Yeah? Bin. All these bits. Bin. One skinned rabbit. What you need to do with this now is put it in salt water overnight. So you want just a fistful of salt in a basin full of water. That's going to take away the bitterness you can get with rabbit. It's also going to make the meat more tender and it's going to make it come up a little bit whiter. It's really worth the effort. It makes a rabbit dish for me. So you've left it overnight. It doesn't have to be in the fridge because the water will keep it cold. Take it out of the salt water, wash it off and you boil it for 2 to 3 hours. I'll show you when it's perfectly cooked later on in the video. Then you'll know when to pick all the meat off. Most people ask, how do you joint a rabbit up? There's no point doing it really, because you find that there's 1.5 portions on each of the legs, about a portion on the saddle, and half a portion on the shoulders. A much better, simpler and easier way is to boil the whole rabbit and pick all the meat off and put it in a bowl, then you can portion it up accurately. Now we're going to poach the rabbit. I expect most of you at home don't have a pan quite this big. Just to reassure you, you don't need one this big. In fact, I usually do 15 to 20 rabbits in a pan this size. All we're going to do, a washed rabbit into the water, let it come up to the boil, 2 to 2.5 hours until the meat starts to fall off the bone, and we'll take it out and pick all the meat off. And look at that, that's a rabbit cooked after 1 hour. Okay, now that is absolutely rock solid, and it's as hard as rubber. We can bounce this off a table. Now some people cook it for an hour and serve it, and as you can see that's probably not going to be a lot of fun to eat. So we're going to put it back in and leave it for another 1.5 hours, so 2.5 hours in total, and the meat's going to fall off the bone. It's going to be lovely and tender, it's going to be great to eat. Well, as you can see, this rabbit is quite literally falling apart. If you pick it up, well, its front leg, see, it's all falling apart. It's very quick, very simple. And this is the best way to maximise the meals and the shelf life of your rabbit. And you might sit there thinking, well, it's quite a lot of effort to do it for one rabbit. Well, it is for one rabbit, but you've got to bear in mind, for very little extra effort, you can do 10 rabbits, and then you've got 10 meals, you know, in the fridge. You feed your family for a long time on 10 rabbits. There we go. Look at that. So that's all the meat you get off one rabbit. But if you do 4 or 5, you can get a big bowl full, cover it in olive oil. It's got 2 weeks shelf life in the fridge. So you got nice hot rabbit like that. Just boil in there like that. Season it, and then cover it in olive oil. I would urge you to use good quality olive oil because you're only going to use a little bit of the rabbit in olive oil and it'll taste nicer and it'll last a bit longer. But if you want to use cheaper stuff, it'll still work. And that is how you make rabbit stored under oil.